Okay. So we're holding towards the end. So this is a Shiur in Shiur Tanya, and Perek Daled. We're holding towards the end of the Perek on Omid Tes, or the printed Sefer, and today is Monday, Kof Aleph Sivan, Tov Shin Ayin Beis, Kof Aleph Sivan, Tov Shin Ayin Beis. So we're holding by where the Alter Rebbe at the beginning of the Omid, he brings the Maimon Chazal, Lochein Omru Yofe Shor Achas, B'Teshuva Ma'asim Tevim B'Olam Hazeh Mikol Chayei Ha'olam Haba. And in the previous class we discussed some of the details of that statement. The implication of that, Boivin Kloli, is that Dafki in this world there's some essential milo and achievement and advantage over all of the Chayei Ha'olam Haba. And we sort of, B'Pashtus, the Chayei Ha'olam Haba here is referring to the continuation of the Neshoma's life in Gan Eden after it's been in this world. I say that's the implication. And we saw that what was the Maila of Davki, the life in this world, B'Tshuva Ma'asim Tevim, because as we saw in the previous part of the Perek, the Torah, in its very essence, is compared to Mayim Yodim B'Mokim Gavoya L'Mokim Nomuk, the same Mayim that was B'Mokim Gavoya is Nimtza B'Mokim Nomuk, and we saw that the Torah went down into this world in a way that it didn't change Be'etzem, and not only it didn't change from how it is Mamish Miyuchat B'Kudsha Brichu V'Araisa Kul Echad, it didn't change in that coming down through all the worlds, even it passed through all the worlds and the shtalshalas of all the worlds. Not only it didn't change, but the implication was that it came darkly to its genuine and emissary expression. And its emissary perfection was darkly when it was to be found in this world here, Lamata. And we brought various psukim to indicate how the Torah is malbish and affects the neshama in a very essential way through the learning and the keeping of Torah mitzvahs, davke here b'olam hazeh, in a way that can't be compared to how it is in Olam Haba. The relationship with the very essence of the Torah here in this world is incomparably greater than what it is in Gan Eden, and b'meila it follows that the dveikis in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, in Elokus, is incomparably greater, because the Torah, how it is, be'etzem atzmusa, and its genuine expression, is one mamish with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Reis v'kudsha b'ikru kul echad. Since the emissary expression of Kudsha Brichu or Reis kul echad is davki here in this world, and davki through Torah mitzvahs in this world, then it follows that it's incredibly greater than the Kol Chayei Ha'olam Haba, how it is in Gan Eden, the whole. In other words, it would imply that it's just incomparably different than everything, to use the expression that Gan Eden could possibly offer the Neshama. And why was that? And we saw the key point in that, and the key svara which led to that conclusion was that the Ika of Gan Eden, and there's a tremendous tainug connected with the understanding and with all the inyanim which occur in Gan Eden, in the Neshama, but the Ika Aveda there is what we call the inyan of hasoga, understanding. And we saw that the tremendous tainug, and it's a ceaseless tainug, an everlasting tainug, that is brought to the neshama in Gan Eden is a result of this inyan of hasoga, because there's a special tainug and miyuchad tainug in hasoga, as we see in the life of Adam when he understands something, appreciates and grasps it. Besichloi, in his seichel, then he's full of a special expression of tainug. So in the most high level, well, that's what he experiences in Gan Eden. However, what does he experience it from? The tainug is a tainug of understanding, of hasoga, of grasping. So the Alter Rebbe said, how much can a created being, even though he's a neshama, and neshama is a chelek elokah mimayil, over the way it came down into this world, and the way it traveled down into this world also, it also went through the whole hell of the neshama. So the neshama is ke'ilu, it's an ordinary created being. When I say ordinary in inverted commas, I mean it's ke'ilu that it's got all the lackings and the shortcomings, as we might call them, of a created being in this world. So therefore said the Rebbe, when it comes to a created being compared to Elokus, there's absolutely no error whatsoever. A nivro mit Elokus is just absolutely two extremities of the most unlimited possibility. So therefore, what could a nivra possibly grasp and understand according to its terms and its koiches in Elokus? Only a ha'ora, only a luminescence from the oyer anyway of Hashem can possibly be understood in the form of our soga. So we pointed out briefly in the last year that there is also in the neshama in Gan Eden a certain reward that occurs to the neshama in Gan Eden after its avodah here in this world, and its avodah here in this world was with Torah mitzvahs. So there has to be a certain tzachah. And there's what we call ziv Torah. But once again, in Gan Eden, what the neshama has is also called not only, as we're just about to point out here, that therefore we describe what the neshama is able to grasp, to be masig, b'hasoge, in Gan Eden is ziv hashchina. It's not the real shchina. When I say real, it's not the etzem hashchina. It's only a luminescence. What that's a ziv hashchina. And therefore, the diuk is that the tzaddikim hayeshu and then is ziv hashchina. So in a similar way, we find that it's brought down in Lashonos from Chazal that what the neshamas in Gan Eden are nene from their avodah down here is also ziv terosim v'avodos. They're not masig the etzem sachar, the etzem result of their work in Olam Hazeh. That's only going to be later when Mashiach will come in the world. Atchiyah, like the Alter Rebbe brings later in Tanya in Perek Lamed Vav, he says that after the Elef Hazayin in the 7,000th year, then it will be the real and genuine tzachar from the mitzvahs. And the genuine tzachar, the genuine reward of the mitzvahs, will then be the etzem mitzvah itself. And like we say schar mitzvah, that the schar of a mitzvah is a mitzvah. So Chassidus teaches that meaning the etzem mitzvah itself will be the schar, but that's going to be at a different period and a different level altogether than what we're talking here in Gan Eden. At Afar, even that what they do have a certain reward from Teirosan Vavidosan, Bezeh HaOlam, but even that is only Ziv. It's only Ziv, because the Ike from Gan Eden is a world which is made where the neshama still remains in its entity the way it was here and the way it became a neshama as part of the Olamas, and it's a world of appreciation on the part of that neshama in Elokus, Hasoga. So if it's Hasoga, it can only be Ziv. It can never be a real etzem reality. Not in Elokus, and not in what was the result of the Torah and the mitzvah, the reward of the Torah and mitzvahs that come to it up there. It's also in the form of Hasoga, and it's also called Ziv Teirosim. Not the genuine reward of Teirosim Vavadosim. That's going to be, as we said, at a later point. So therefore, it says the Rebbe, Lochei Nikru B'Shem Ziv Hashchina. Aval HaKodesh Baruch Hu B'Kfoide Uve'atzmai, over Hashem in His very essence, Leish Makshova Tvisa Beiklau, in his very glory and his very essence himself, then there can be absolutely no appreciation. Hasoga just cannot possibly, not only just an Neshama, the way she's become a Nivra down here, no, even the highest levels in the highest world, as we pointed out, are not able to be masig, and that's the concept of the idea of machshova. They can't grasp or have any tafisa. The word tafisa indicates the activity of asoga and of the mind in grasping the activity and the ability of the mind to appreciate is called grasp, to grasp. So he said of in the Eibishter, in his very essence, then leis makshova tvisa pei klau, hasoga has absolutely no way, there's absolutely no way it could possibly appreciate or grasp anything but in regard to Hashem in his very essence. How does the neshama relate to Hashem in his very essence? Ki only im kasher tvisa umislabeshes b'teira umitzveiseha. When is the neshama going to have any ability to actually grasp HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to make a contact and a relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu? When it will be teifes in Torah mitzvahs. If it will grasp Torah and mitzvahs, how they are down here in this world, then it will be able to say that it's made a contact and a union and a grasping with HaKadosh Baruch Hu b'kvei uma atzmei. And it's brought down in certain Sfarim that the two expressions, tfisa or mitlabeshes, refer to the Torah and the mitzvahs. When you learn Torah, you do grasp something. When you study the Torah, you grasp something. And when you do a mitzvah, you kill and clothe yourself inside the mitzvah, because the mitzvah remains like a lavush or a dovamakiu around you. So you, like as it were, clothe yourself in the mitzvah. So when the neshama is tvisa or mitlabeshes, but Torah or mitzvahs, then he tvisa umislabeshes b'Kodesh Baruch Hu mamish. Then she actually, on a further level, she is tvisa and mislabeshes b'Kodesh Baruch Hu mamish. Not by way of a soga, but by way of direct union and contact. Kim kasher tvisa mislabeshes ozai. I'm sorry. Kim kasher mislabeshes azai he tvisa umislabeshes. The word behen is taken out. Umislabeshes b'Kodesh Baruch Hu mamish. Why? Because the Eibishter and Torah are all absolute one. So if he enters the Torah and the Torah forms on him through the mitzvahs, the Torah forms on him a lavush, or his mind grasps the infant Torah, then through that he forms a direct unity with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, because the Torah and the Eibishter are kula chad. But not that through that he actually grasps through the mind. But through grasping in yonim of Torah, the musagim, the way Torah presents us things here in this world, by his mind forming a union with that Torah, then he forms a union by way of following with the very essence of Hashem, because the Torah and the very essence of Hashem are all absolute one. And as we pointed out, that's the whole concept of mayim. Mayim yordim mimochim gavoya lemochim novel. When you do Torah and mitzvahs, then you form a union in an essential way that you become your teifas, but you're not teifas HaKadosh Baruch Hu by way of a soga, but you're teifas him how he's miyuchad b'tachlis hayichud with Torah. Al-Yidei forming a union with that particular matter in Torah, through that you become united with the very essence of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Over Atzmei in his very essence. And that's the way, through Torah mitzvahs, Davki, in this world, we form a unity with the very essence of Hashem himself. In Gan Eden, we're only being masig thing, albeit we're being masig certain in Yom that we were masig here in Torah, on a higher level, but it's still the inyan from Hasoga. And since it's Hasoga, it can only be Ziv Hashchina or Ziv Teirosen Avedosa. Of a Kodesh Baruch Hu Mamish is only through Torah and Mitzvah. Sure. Avamir Kum Toisa, that's why Yofer, Shor Achas, even just 1 hour in this world, as it were, is better than all the possible life in Gan Eden, because the highest life in Gan Eden is only a grasping and a union with Ziv of a Kodesh Baruch Hu. 1 moment in this world is, if you do Torah Mitzvah, when I say moment, 1 short time in this world, if you do Torah Mitzvahs, then you unite with the very essence and Kodev Atzmei Shel HaKodesh Baruch Hu. So, that's a pretty amazing equation. And therefore, it was always a custom by Yidden to use the expression chapa mitzvah, to grasp a mitzvah, to run after a mitzvah, to grasp it, because that's another way of forming connection with the very essence of Hashem. Even in the whole of Gan Eden, you're unable to form that type of connection. So now, says the Rebbe, now the Alter Rebbe asks Akasha behemshit to what we've just been saying. He now begins a new, as it were, diuk. Ve'af shatoiro nislabsha b'dvarim taktoinim gashmim. The Torah l'chora, if you say that the whole way to form the kesher with the essence of Hashem is through Torah and mitzvah, how they are in this world, and that's the correct and ultimate expression of the Torah. That's what the Torah in its emes is, dafki in this world. And the emes reisva kudsha brichu kulachad is Torah, how it is here in this world. How the Torah, the way it is in this world, has enclosed itself in low matters and physical matters. Dvarim taktoinim v'gashim. All the mitzvahs of the Torah have to do with things which are physical, tangible, material inyanim. And maybe the word taktoinim being as like the concept of a low inyan is implying that we see there are many things that we study in Torah which have to do with people who've fallen into having damaged one the other and having court cases one with the other and counter-claiming one the other, and which claim is more acceptable, which claim is less acceptable. Well, those are all things of this world, and things which we do the mitzvahs through. For example, agashmim. All the mitzvahs that we do are agashmim. Tefillin agashmim, talis is agashmim, trumas and maestros agashmim. Everything that we do, and even those mitzvahs which are given to spirit like Yiras Hashem and Avos Hashem, they also are busy through the Moach Hagashmi and the Leiv Hagashmi of the order. So everything in Torah, the way it is in its ultimate expression in this world, meets up with the fact that the Torah is enclosed completely, it's miyuched completely with things which seem to be meager or lower things, and if we take a more broader grasp of the mitzvahs and things of that nature, then they're all in gashmiyas, in physical, material, tangible world. If I remember, what's a kasha? A kasha is a l'chora. If I make a union, with the Dvarim Gashmim, then how can you say I make a union with a Kodesh Baruch Hu, b'kvoidei v'atzmei? A Kodesh Baruch Hu b'kvoidei v'atzmei is obviously moved from anything like that. I mean, we can't probably say Hashem is chas v'sholom. And therefore Hashem is l'mayla miruchnias too also. He's completely, an absolutely ungraspable entity, which we call Elokus. As if we're going to say that all the Torah is in Yonim, which are Gashmius and Taktonim, and they themselves are, as it were, Richok mi Elokus, and they're not Elokus. Then how is it that we form such an inseparable union with the Eibishter by doing these Gashmiistic activities? So says the Alter Rebbe, Hareizeh kemachabik es hamelech derech Moshe. He said it's like somebody who embraces a king, embraces the king of his country. By way of example, she'ein hefresh b'mailas hiskarvusei udveikusei b'melech bein mechabkoi keshuhu lavush echad bein shuhu lavush kamala vushim me'acha since sheguf hamelech b'teichon. The guf of the melech is inside the levushim. What does it matter how many levushim the melech has? When you embrace the levushim and the melech is inside the levushim, then you're embracing the king. The Rebbe said that benekeh to the union that we form with the Kodesh Baruch Hu, then the fact that the Torah is davki in Dvarim Tartanim doesn't alter or in any way impinge on the ultimate yikah that we make. These things are like in the way. So the Alter Rebbe said it's like let's say, for example, you have a very close friend, and you're very attached to somebody. You want to show your devotion, you love him, and everything. So what do? You embrace him, and you don't mean to embrace his garments, or you don't mean to embrace even his body. You embrace his body because you know that inside that are the aspects which cause your love for him. In other words, his spirituality and his personality, which are all intangible objects, they're inside his body. So you embrace the body because you have no other way of showing your love and your relationship to what is his real essence, which is what causes you to love him. So the same thing with Hashem. Hashem gave us all these mitzvahs and everything. They're like an Indian that it's true, they're levushim, they're garments, they're not Hashem, but by forming a relationship and a kesher with them, then it's like we're embracing the very essence of Hashem, what He's inside those levushim. What does it matter to us? It doesn't disturb the devakas, the fact that the person has one levush, or maybe he's got 5 levushim. It doesn't matter, because the very essence of the king, which is his guf, and even his guf is also a form of lavush, and inside the guf are all his personal trays. So if you take the lavushim, you take the guf. If you take the guf, then for sure you've got all the inyanim. So it doesn't matter, says the Alter Rebbe. So that implies that the kasha was l'chora, that not only how can I embrace HaKadosh Baruch Hu for embracing Gashmistic mitzvahs, but it would imply that they're like a form of interference. They in some way get between us and HaKadosh Baruch Hu. There's also that implication in the kasha. And therefore the Alter Rebbe says, no, it doesn't matter, because they're just like levushim, and we're going to see as we go further, they're very special levushim, particularly when it comes to learning Torah. They're very, very special levushim. All we do is we really embrace through the mitzvahs. We embrace, as it were, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We embrace the mitzvah, yeah. But since he's inside the mitzvah, then even though we're embracing a lavush, when I put on tefillin, I don't really see that I'm embracing HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I'm making union with a lavush. But since he's inside the lavush, and inside that lavush is the very essence of him, just like in the case of the Moshe which we gave for the king's body, and automatically in that all the implications of the king's body, then there's no disturbance to our yichud. They're not considered as being something that interrupts. No, on the contrary, they are what form us that how do you call it, chibuk, or they are what form the union with the essence. So you might say, well, why didn't Hashem just make it we just be miyuchad with him somewhere else? Now, the whole Indian is that the mitzvahs are part of the physical world. That was the whole purpose of Hashem, that there should davki be a olam hatakton, and through that olam hatakton we make contact with him. So the Rebbe said it doesn't matter how many of those levushim it may be, or, I mean, you can't very well count levushim in mitzvahs, or how, what you might say, thick or coarse these levushim may be, or they may appear to be like interfering. They don't really interfere at all, because by being machabik, the mitzvah, and doing the mitzvah and giving yourself over to a complete union with the mitzvah, you are really uniting with he who is inside the mitzvah. It's like as if you embrace a friend, meaning his deep inner personality, and you embrace him through the levush. In the great advantage of the coming close to and the cleavage to the melech, whether he embraces him whether he's wearing one levush, yeah, or whether he embraces him shu levush kama levushim me'acha sheguf hamelech b'teichon. Since the guf of the melech is inside those levushim, it doesn't really matter. Ein lezekol nafka mina. In other words, if the melech had on himself a whole series of very posh levushim, and you were able to actually embrace the king, then your union with the king wouldn't be in any way impinged by the number of levushim he had on. Because the ikka is the king himself, that he's inside the levushim. So the same with the mitzvahs, and as we pointed out, the moshel is only, when I say only a moshel, it's only a moshel because in the mitzvahs, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is mamish miyuchad, betachas hayichud, inside the levush mitzvah. Arais v'kudsha b'ikha kula chan. Oh, so now the Alter Rebbe adds a further point. Says the Alter Rebbe, v'chein im hamelech mechabkoi b'zroyoi, gam shehi melubeshes toik malbushov, kamo shekosov, v'yimino ischabkeini, shehi ha-Torah shenitna miyomin, shehi b'chinas chesed u'mayim. So the Rebbe said it works in two ways. It works in two efanim. What about if we take the moshel in another way, and that is we take the moshel now if the melech would be pictured as embracing you. When you embrace the melech as one aspect of the moshel, another one, says the Alter Rebbe, let's say that the melech embraces you. Mechabkoi, the melech embraces the person concerned. A melech mechabkoi b'zroyoi, with his arm, gam kishu melubeshes toik malbusha. If he did that, the melech for sure would do that also, even though, so that arm that the melech puts around you, even though he's levushim, well, that doesn't cause any chas v'sholem lackage in the intimacy of the contact with the melech who's embraced you with his arm, even though it's embraced inside its levushim. It's a pasuk in Shir Hashirim that his right hand will embrace me. Chabkeini will embrace me. Shehi ha-Torah. So what do we mean by his right hand? That's well known that the Torah is in Sefer Devarim, right near the end, we say about the Torah, mi yeminoi eish toslome. The Torah is like the right hand and right arm of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So why does the pasuk in Shir Hashirim say yeminoi chabkeini? That the Torah literally embraces us, yeah, and the Torah is given, as we said a minute ago, in levushim. It's given in Dvarim Gashmiyim and things of that, no? But nonetheless, if the king embraces you, then there's a very tremendous unity and intimacy between you and the melech, and that's expressed through that pasuk Yemino is Chabcheni, because the Torah was given from Yamin Kaviyochel. The Torah is literally from the right side. What's the advantage of saying that the Torah is from the right side? Shu b'chinas chesed u mayim. That it's well known the imagery of the concept of Yamin, the right hand indicates chesed always. The right hand is always indicatory in imagery of chesed, and we added that chesed of the Torah was also like mayim. Chesed u'mayim. So what is the mile of Chesed u'mayim? We saw that Chesed is a inyam il mata. But derech klau, Chesed is when one person gives down from himself to another. So the Torah comes from Hashem's right hand in the form of Chesed. It's milmaila mata, like we learned exactly how it is lamaila. That's the way it comes lamata. And we saw an additional mashal to that of the concept of mayim, that Chesed is like mayim, because it's the giver giving milmaila from his elevated point to somebody who's receiving from him. He gives down. That's Chesed. That's the etzem in Chesed. There's one on Gvura is a different idea altogether. And Mayim is a similar idea. However, both of them indicate Hamshocha from a Mokim Gavoya to a Mokim Nomak, like we pointed out before. So that if Kaviochel, the Eibusha, embraces you, then how does he do that? He does it through the Torah, and the Torah's Lavush is a garment in all the Dvorim HaGashmim, like we saw. But he said it's from the Yamin, and it's Bechina Chesed, Umayim. It's the whole idea of intimate contact, because hidden in that is himself. He's literally given Ma'amayim, a Yodim, Yimochim Noman, that Kaviochel, the Torah has gone down exactly in its complete way, and it's come down from high to low, and that's the concept of Chesed Umayim. So what we need to understand for a moment, our minds need to tell us, why did the Alter Rebbe have to double up the Moshel? I mean, when you learn Torah mitzvahs, then you embrace Elokus. Why did he have to say the Moshel back the other way, that if Hashem embraces you, then Be'ikar, that's the concept also of Yamin. And Yamin is this idea of giving down the whole etzem of the Torah, Memayim and Chesed, and he's given you everything, and he's anyway inside it, but he doesn't emphasize that, but he comes under the concept of Chesed Umayim. What's kilo the inyan and the mile of that? So different approaches are given, and different forms of teretz are given to the why the Alter Rebbe doubles up the Moshel. And what we could say is that in every mitzvah, what we could say is that every mitzvah has a certain trace in it of the famous concept of Isarusa de la Tata, Isarusa de la Yela. What is it? Isarusa de la Tata, Isarusa de la means the arousal from below brings down a Amshoch and arousal Milmaila. So we suggest that the first part of the Moshel is how you make an effort to approach. And you, in the Gashmistic world, you make an effort to